Well, hello there, pen friends, and welcome to another ink review. This is the next of my Birmingham Pen Company ink reviews, and today it is Polar Bear. This is a great colour. It's a blue, but it's got some sort of like nice green tonally stuff, a bit of sheen, really lovely turquoise, I assume representing something of the sea or the sky in the Arctic with polar bears and all of that sort of stuff. The full title of this ink is Highland Park Zoo, so perhaps those of you familiar with Highland Park Zoo, if there's a polar bear display, may be familiar with something this sort of colour. This is the bottle it comes in, standard sort of Birmingham Pen Company bottle, simple, this is the 30ml version of course, simple packaging, nice clean box. I write the name of the top on because there's nothing to label what ink is in the box, but it's beautifully printed and it looks great. The bottle is good, it's glass, it's sturdy, it's got an opening big enough for most pens, but not super big, but it does the absolute job. Let's look at it on some paper. We start with it here on Tomoe River paper. This is in a Bond Travel Gear notebook. Bond Travel Gear don't exist anymore. This notebook is not made, but it is the standard 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. As it says here, I've got it in my two regular review pens, the TWSBI Go Broad and the TWSBI Go Extra Fine. Let's get started. 5 points of this ink. Sheen. It sheens, which is really nice. It doesn't come up much in the writing, just occasionally get like hits of it, same as even on the swatch there, but it does sheen a little bit, which I actually do really enjoy. It is a vibrant, rich colour. So vibrant and rich, I think, are two different things, but in this context, I think they both apply. You can see it pops on the page. The lighter shading particularly is beautiful and clean and vibrant, yet that darkness is rich and saturated. The next point is that there is some bleed. You'll see it on some other paper shortly, and you see that there is a bit of bleed. It's not it doesn't perform badly, it just needs to be taken into account. Next point is price, which I will cover again later, but it's a really affordable ink. These Birmingham Pen Company inks are very affordable, particularly once you get up into the bigger bottles. The amount you're getting for the price is kind of amazing. And then the fifth point is that it's got really interesting tone. So it's those green sort of little darkness, that dusty greeny blue that comes through that I really enjoy with this ink. Okay, performance. The ink feels great on the page. Really nice to write with. It's smooth, it's got good flow. Excellent. And it's got good colour and the shading is good. As I said here, once again, there is some bleed issues. There's a little water resistance, as we can see up here. You can still definitely make that out. But it is a heavy saturation ink, so a lot of it does sort of move around. For a light blue like this, to have this sort of saturation is quite nice. Extras. It's got good sheen in the shade, but no shimmer. Let's now look at it on some other paper. Let's start with Rhodia. So here is the writing page, once again a little swatch of it there, which looks nice hits of shading. In both pens you can see that the colour is a little bit more muted on the Rhodia. It doesn't quite have that same depth of pop, it actually is a lot brighter. If we look at the reverse, it has come through a couple of places where we laid down quite a bit of ink, but also a couple of points just where it's writing. And obviously the swatches come through even to the next page. If we look at the back of the Tomoe River page here, there isn't a whole lot that sort of comes, nothing actually bleeds through. We just get show through, which is absolutely normal. On to lower end brands of paper, we've got like a simple copy paper here. You see that the colour is very much more muted and more even. There is a bit of feathering, but not too bad. It's not the worst, certainly the worst. But then there is a bit of bleeding. I think some others perform slightly better than this on this paper. And if you look at it on the student notepad, which is very low quality paper, it's a much lighter tone in general. It's got some interesting sort of, the colour that comes through. A little bit of feathering once again, but not too bad. And the same issues with bleeding there. The colour comparisons I lined up for this, I didn't want to go and just do like Robert Oster Fire and Ice and things like that. I wanted to show it alongside a couple of other sort of turquoise blue greens that I find really interesting. It does show just how blue polar bear is in comparison, but that is Diamine Eau de Nil, which has a lovely like a sheen on it, and it's got some lovely darker sort of grey blue greens in the shading. And then this is a Sailor Yamadori, which I think has been a favourite of people like looking for sheening inks and stuff like that for quite a while. A bit more green in that one, which does show the blue of polar bear there. Actually, if we look at the chromatography, it really is just a lot of blue. The tone in this is just a really interesting blue in my opinion. Price. As I said, price is a selling point with this ink. It is $9 US for the 30ml bottle. Great price, just for that alone. It is $14 US for a 60ml bottle, or $19 US for a 90ml bottle. Now that is the standard Birmingham Pen Company pricing. Whether each of the inks is carried in those sizes is dependent on what's in stock and the popularity of the ink and all those sorts of things. Okay, so score. I've given this 3.5 out of 5. I think it's got great colour. It's got a really nice look on the page, but there are a few issues. So while there is a little bit of water resistance, and while it's got that nice colour, some of those bleeding issues, even on Rhodia, for me, are just... They just bring the score down ever so slightly. And as we know, TWSBIs aren't the wettest pens, so keep that in mind. If you're going to use this ink or the Birmingham Pen Company inks, perhaps not super wet pens. Good quality paper is important, and maybe not super broad or stubs if you are concerned about bleeding. So this was Birmingham Pen Company Highland Park Zoo Polar Bear. A really beautiful and interesting ink from a company that makes some really interesting colours. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here, or drop me an email which is listed down below. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel by sponsoring a review or providing an item for review, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pens and your ink, and I'll talk to you soon.